What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know, and this is going to be sort of a different episode. I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. Mainly, I'm going to be moving in a couple of months. I've been for the last, however many years, been able to live in just a fantastic situation on the Upper East Side in a beautiful building with the gym and a pool and the roof deck. And unfortunately, nothing lasts forever. Everything changes, and so I have to leave this situation, and I'm going to be moving. And just looking at my finances, I don't know that I'm going to be able to continue reviewing niche fragrance week after week. I absolutely could make it work, but there are other things out there that I want to do, and other ways to spend my money that I think I could be better. So, the question kind of came to me, well, do I still want to review if I'm not going to be reviewing niche fragrances every week? And guys, if you look at my past 2 years of reviewing, I've been doing this for about 2 years now. Come January, I don't know that anyone reviewed consistently as many niche fragrances as I have. And now that's not to say that there's not better collections out there. I mean, guys like Creed Frags and Redolescence and Eric and certainly Robes and Renee, they have collections that shame mine, basically, even at almost 400 fragrances deep. But in terms of having, these high-end niche fragrances and then reviewing them, I think I put out more content than any of those guys, maybe with the exception of Steven. And so it's cost a lot. It's cost a lot of time and it's cost a lot of money. So, I'm going to wrestle with the question of, do I want to, maybe review one niche fragrance a month, one designer, one indie fragrance, one cheapie, and sort of stay within a financial restraint that I find comfortable, or do I just want to step back for a while and maybe not make videos as much? Now, I have a relationship with Decant Shop. As long as that relationship on their end is okay, as long as she's okay, Adriana, with sending me samples every week, those I will definitely do. I mean, that I have the time to do that and the means. So we'll definitely have those, but I just want to let you guys know, I guess, that reviewing a fragrance every week might not be happening come January. I haven't made that decision yet, and this isn't a video to get you guys to be like, no, Max, please don't leave us, you can't leave us. Da, 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 da. It's not about that at all. I'm just really want to be honest and upfront, and it's certainly not goodbye. So, I have at least right now 20 videos filmed, about 10 reviews of good quality fragrances that I plan on releasing over the next 2 to 3 months, and then, we'll see what happens. If there's a real want for me to, to continue to do this consistently, I'll try my damnedest. I'm 35 years old. And, man, it's a shame I didn't start doing this when I was in my 20s, because I promise you, I would have been going toe-to-toe with Mark in terms of hauls and all that stuff. Like, I had it popping in my 20s. I had a lot of money. And not to say that I'm doing fine now. I'm doing better than probably 99% of the world. But, eventually I would like to have a family. And there's just other things I can spend money on. But, when you get to the point where you're at 400 fragrances, you do have to sort of wonder, like, well, what's next? 800? Where do I want to go with it? I have a fragrance for every occasion. What am I doing this for? Am I doing it to collect? Eventually, you guys know, I think I've talked about this before. What I want to do is have my own fragrance line. And part of the reason why I'm talking about this like this is because that isn't my plans. And, I don't want to just be a spectator in the fragrance game. I want to be in the sidelines calling the shots. And, people can laugh at that, but, doubting me or laughing at me and they're saying, you're thinking too big, kid, it's a mistake. because consistently I've been able to perform in any field that I've ever thrown my hat into. So again, this isn't goodbye. I'm not even saying I'm stopping reviewing. I'm not even saying I'm stopping reviewing every week. I just want to let you guys know that there could be changes coming ahead, you know, in 2015. And before I make any sort of decisions, I will certainly make a video and you know, get your perspective. Also, I want to let you guys know, if you haven't checked out on my blog, I am doing a video series on my blog. I'm doing a you guys, some of the guys like my music on this, some of you guys hate the music on this. I understand both sides of it. I'm doing my top 100 songs of all time on my blog, MaximilianMustKnow.com. And for you non-hip-hop guys out there, only a third of it is hip-hop. 65 songs in the my top 100 of all time are non-hip-hop songs. So this was the first week. We went through songs 100 to 95, and each week we'll go through 5 for the next 20 weeks. So that's going on. Definitely want to keep blogging and definitely want to keep doing this. I'm just not sure what level I'm going to be able to do it at in 2015. We'll see. I did, however, want to do a quick take and talk about 3 fragrances really quick. I've got a lot more quick takes coming. You know, I don't usually post videos on Sunday nights, but I just wanted to sort of, you know, it's been something I've been thinking about recently, and I just wanted to let you guys know, and you know, you can comment and let me know, you know, whether, no, Max, we want you to keep reviewing niche fragrances, please do that, or man, do what we want you to keep review whatever you got to, but just keep doing this, or yeah, we never really liked you that much anyway, man. You won't be missed. God knows there are certainly enough people in this community so that if I packed my camera and my fragrances up one day and said goodbye, you are in the best of hands with everyone who's out there. You know, so many new great guys out there, you know, that I can't even, I'm not gonna lie, I can't even keep up with them because there's so many that are just doing their thing at such a high level. And of course the vets, man, the dudes that I love, the Marks, the Codys, the Als, the Stevens, the Renees, the dudes that have embraced me since the start of this, the Funkinators, and just show me so much love. Raj, you know, my really the dude who really helped me make a name for myself in this. You're in such good hands with those guys that you know, what do you really do you need me for? And of course, the 3 dudes that I really came into this with were Creed Freggs, who I consider a real friend, and Joe Anthony, who, you know, I know he gets a lot out of what I do, the content that I do, and so I'm really happy I'm able to give him some guidance and some help sometimes. And of course, Chad, who is a guy who I just have a lot of respect for, and I think he's a lot more than what he thinks he is. And so, you know, my point is there's such great people in the community. It's really not the end of the world if I ever was to leave it, but I hope that we don't get there. I hope that, you know, I'm still going to be doing sample shoppings and hopefully somehow getting reviews out in 2015. But let's do a quick take real quick on 3 fragrances. They're not all recent pickups, really only one is, but I like doing 3 at a time, so we'll actually go in order of purchase. The first one I want to talk to you guys about is from the house of Histoire de Parfum. I did not do a full review on this. This is one of the fragrances I picked up at the Bendel sale, where everything was 60% off. Guys, this one is called Histoire de Parfum Edition Rare Petroleum. And this is sort of a bonkers fragrance. It's got that oud in it. It sort of has like a petroleum note. There's some rose in there. It's just dark. It's deep. It's very potent. I'm smelling it now. It is really, really strong. It's sort of a really aggressive oud. I think there's some saffron and leather in it. It's an eau de parfum. It's really great. Now, with that said, I think from this collection of the Histoire, I think Amber is still where you want to go if you can. But I think next up, better than Rosum, is Petroleum, which is, I think, a fantastic fragrance. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is going to maybe be a little bit controversial, but I got to ask the question with this one. This is Versace Eau Fraiche. So, for those of you who like this fragrance, I do not get it at all. I think Versace Man is so much better than this. That's sort of a tobacco-y, spicy fragrance, a sultry, sexy fragrance. And this is just, I mean, let me spray myself with this real quick. Yeah, like guys, like everything at TJ Maxx smells like this. Like, I think this is such a bad fragrance, but that's just me. I don't get this at all. So someone tell me what I'm missing. And then third up is one I picked up today from Century 21. Now, for you guys who live near Century 21, or especially my New York guys, if you're looking for a designer set, you don't want to pay full retail, definitely check Century 21 out because they do have great deals, and often they'll have the box sets that did move during the holidays. They'll have those pretty heavily discounted. Now, this one was a 2014 release, and they're already selling it for cheap, so I don't know what happened, but this is Zegna Uomo Absolute. And this is really, really nice. This has some citrus, some mint, but then also some tonka and some labdanum. It's like spicy and it's light at the top. It is sort of, like Prada Luna Rossa Extreme or Givenchy Gentleman Intense or whatever. Like the Bulgarian Men Black. All these fragrances houses, what they've done is they've taken a popular fragrance of theirs and they've called it either Intense or Absolute or Extreme, and they add vanilla, tonka, sometimes mint, and maybe lavender, and they make it a little bit darker. And that clearly is what Zegna has done with Uomo, but it worked pretty well. And this I got for $30 for 50 ml, and that's a really good deal. And I highly recommend checking Uomo Absolute because I think it's much better than a $50 fragrance. Also today, I hit up the Armani Boutique on Madison Avenue for the first time. Really check out that Privé line. And yeah, there were 3 winners in it for me. Rose d'Arab, the Myrrh Imperial, and I think the Oud Royal. I think all 3 of those were winners. Don't know which one I'm going to get first. I probably the Myrrh. And then I also did hit up the Creed Boutique to get my nose on this vetiver geranium that everyone is gassing up. And yeah, it's a nice fragrance. It's got apple, it's got vetiver, it's got geranium, so it's minty. It's a very crisp fragrance that could work out really well in the fall or spring or summer. And I did dismiss the Aqua Originale fragrances at first. I have to admit, I did dismiss them. I keep it 100. You guys know I don't bullshit. But look, if I keep collecting at a high level, then all 3 of those Armani fragrances I mentioned will be mine, and the Vetiver Geranium by Creed Aqua Originale will be mine as well. I think what'll probably happen is I'll probably wind up reviewing 4 fragrances a month still, but I think one will probably be niche, one will probably be like indie, one will probably be a designer, and one will probably be like a cheapie. And that way, I can sort of stay within a better budget, and I'm still getting content out, and I don't think I'll get bored. I think if I had to review like designers every week, I wouldn't want to do this that long. So maybe a way to keep it fresh and interesting is to do a niche, but to do an indie and add something in there, throw in a cheapie, and a designer, and that's pretty. I think I can make that work. Still save money, still put money into other things, still pay Manhattan rent, which I mean, I don't know if you guys out there know anything about Manhattan rent, but there's not too many reviewers that I know that live in Manhattan, except some of the good smells. Like I know Cody lives in Manhattan. I'm trying to think if I know anyone else who lives in Manhattan. I think maybe Frank does, but that may be it that I know. So Manhattan is no joke, guys. And I've lived here my whole life. I'm born and raised on the Upper East Side. Some people think that's like lame to be in the Upper East Side, man. I wear that shit as a badge of honor. I'm from an area called Yorkville. A lot of Italian and Irish and Albanian immigrants, the kids. That's the kind of kids that I grew up with in this area, and I think it's just a great place to live. And I want to, I'm born here. I plan on dying here, so I love that, and I do want to stay in Manhattan. And so that's going to be pricey. And as I said, money's got to be allocated different ways. Fortunately for me, I have a great job. I have a couple other side ways of earning a little bit of paper that I don't really want to talk about on here. Fucking IRS. So I do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like somehow I just always figured out how to get money. There's a line in a Cameron song that I love where his uncle says to him, "If you can't get paid on an earth this big, you're worthless, kid." And it's like, it's true in a way, like there's a big world out there and there's so much opportunity, especially in the United States and in New York, that if you can't figure out a way to earn a buck, something's missing, and I was sort of a born hustler. Like both of my parents grew up really, really poor. My mother was in a housing project. My father grew up in Jackson Heights in Queens in a poor neighborhood, and he hustled really to become a really high-end stockbroker. And my mother's a published author, and so they really taught me how to hustle. I mean, I grew up on Park Avenue, but they didn't let me grow up like a kid on Park Avenue. I got cut off at a certain age. They made me work, and they instilled the value of $1 in me. But now, with that said, you guys know when I do make money, I like to floss. I don't fuck around. Like, I like to have nice things and to be a little bit flashy about it. But I definitely, I have a hard job and I work really hard at it, and I work really hard on this channel. And of course, I don't want to lose that momentum. So we'll just see where it has to take me. Sorry if this is a rambling session, but it's just been on my mind the past couple of days. And I suspect that guys like Jeremy, and other guys out there that when Mark probably felt like this, and I know there's some other guys who are sort of questioning, when it gets to this point where you're like, do I want to keep making videos? Well, then maybe it's time to not make videos anymore, but I don't feel I'm at that point where I don't want to do it anymore. I just feel like I'm at a point where I might have to do it a little bit differently. I think I spent somewhere around $16,000 on fragrances last year. Now think about the fact that, I don't know if you have any idea how people are taxed in Manhattan and New York City, but you basically have to make about $30,000 just to spend 16 on fragrances. So almost $30,000 of my income went to fragrances, and of course there's stuff like rent, and other bills you have to pay, and so you can see where it gets really, really crazy. We'll see what happens. Of course, someone else was telling me, man, you could just get decants of shit and review, decants of really high-end fragrances. That's not me. Like, I like to have the box, and I like to have the fucking full bottle. My homie Renee is like that, and I just feel like I want the fragrance. I want to go into the store. I want to get it. I want that whole experience. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I like to do that on sample shopping, but I don't think I'll go that route. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Guys, there are 3 videos coming up this week. I have either a collection video or a quick take. I have a sample shopping for you, and I have a fragrance review. Again, I have enough fragrance reviews right now, no bullshit, to get us through the middle of January. So we at least got 10 more weeks of reviews, and then we'll see what happens. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Maximilian. I must know. Peace.